But
know.
Countdown music has changed.
Our music was bopping. Like, what?
Like, this is a bop.
I want y'all to know the whole time that was going, I was checking the settings. Like, did I turn music on? How did I do that?
I was like, isn't it just normally like a boop, boop, boop? Like when it's doing
Yeah,
that?
it was
Yes.
normally more like anxiety inducing.
Yeah, it's that dun 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 dun
Yep.
dun dun dun. That's what
Yep.
it normally is.
And
They
this
didn't
time it was like,
upgrade it.
this time I wanted it to keep going. I was like, okay.
That was kind of nice. I
Maybe
love
they got
us.
some feedback back on that.
Hello, everyone. It's like clearly StreamYard has updated some things and really had us shook.
Welcome back to Black Prose Club, where Black lives, Black authors, and Black books have always mattered. We are your hosts for tonight's read-along / book discussion, the last one of Black History Month.
Which is kind of sad because this Black History Month has been trying, but also lit at the very same time.
Yeah, at the same time. It's like the world is burning down around us, but we're dancing in the flames, you know?
Literally learning dance routines because I now know that fan dance very well.
Right.
Okay, so if you're new here, we are reading Death Among the Stars by C.M. Lockhart. We are in the last stretch of this, so we are reading from page 93 on, which isn't that many pages. I have to keep remembering because I have the physical book. I have book 2. Oh, there's a preview for book 2. Okay, cool. I'll read that too. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a little reading sprint. The chapters are really short, so we're only doing one 30-minute one.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and we'll have our final discussion, final thoughts, maybe some predictions for book 2. And yeah, so I'm not going to say much more. I'm just going to say happy reading.
Happy reading.
Happy reading.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey.
Okay. I have lots of thoughts.
So many.
I don't know where to start first.
Let's
Oh, wait.
start.
Is my phone ringing? Hold on. Keep
Oh, wow.
talking.
Why don't we just start at the start of this chapter where we finally found out Ziggy's background? Ziggy?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forget. Let's start with Ziggy because
Siggy, that's right. His background is basically just finding out that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
right.
And that's how he became a cyborg. Because we find out that Chase used to like gamble essentially.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this scene gave a lot of Star Wars vibes in my brain. So
Did
if you're
it?
wondering what my visualizations were, it was like Star Wars, like back like Anakin's story part of Star Wars. Like that was the vibe I was getting with the racers and all that other stuff.
Can
But
you imagine though, like just minding your business and then like boom, like nothing
Right.
to do. I have to be a cyborg.
like all I hear in my head is my mama being like, and that's why you mind your business.
Well, the part that really, really threw me for a loop was he was like, yeah, my parents stepped up and really put us back together and saved us and then kicked me out. And I was like, huh?
Yeah, like, oh, but you know, a cyborg's not good enough for an heir, huh? So why put you back together?
Like they went through all that trouble to save y'all's lives and then was just like, okay, bye. We can't you're not useful to us. This.
Like Humpty Dumpty.
Right? I was like, that was cold.
But it was the way that he was like, yeah, and they took my eyes out because I saw everything. What?
Yeah, the way
Where?
I would have pretended to be blind, dumb, and deaf, I would have just been like, huh?
The way I would have just fallen to the ground and just been like, hold your breath, say nothing, be nothing,
Right.
exist as nothing.
He was truly at the wrong place at the wrong time, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, and I also want to say between Ziggy and Pia, like originally I was like, oh my God, Pia's everything, but I actually really like Ziggy now.
Okay.
I'm
indifferent to Siggy.
I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't have,
he's gonna
like,
be the
big
realest
opinions
one
on
of the whole bunch. Like I feel like he's gonna be the realest.
Okay.
He's just very like straight to the point, logical type. So you're not about to get touchy-feely out of him. You're not about to get like this outwardly expression of like love and concern. Like you're just going to get the facts from him and that's it.
Yeah, that's very true. He's very like cut and dry.
Yeah.
But the
So
Pia mystery continues because she tried to get information about Pia out of him and that was not working at all.
And then I'm like, it's something about him and Pia. I'm like, I want to know, but why everybody being so secretive?
Why is everyone being so secretive? And why is it okay for a 15-year-old to be a weapons designer and maker? I was like, something's weird. And she even brought that up. She was like, how is she making weapons? And then he was just kind of like, what did he say?
Question.
He said nepotism and talent, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, because she was raised by
Cheese Chess. How do you say
Cheese? I think it's Cheese or Chise.
No clue. We need one of those like name pronunciation.
Yes.
Indexes like in there with everyone's name and how to pronounce it. But yeah, so essentially, I guess they're just like, she's really good at it, and nepotism, which that made me think about your whole thing about, Pia potentially being Xavier's long lost child.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still thoroughly convinced that she's connected. She's connected to, it's either she's Xavier's baby or she's James's baby.
Oh.
One of them's got a baby. I'm convinced that Pia is one of them. Oh, it's Chise. Okay, good. So you were right, Chise.
Okay, Chise. But yeah, you're convinced one of them has a baby?
Yeah, no, I know that I said that last time. I'm still thoroughly convinced that one of the reveals will be that that's Xavier's baby. And Chise knew it and just decided to take her under her wing because Xavier was not about to ruin his relationship with his wife to be like, oh, BT dubs, like I have a Special alien baby. Yay. That's my
Oh.
theory, but yeah.
Well, we will see in book 2 what happens with Pia. I feel like we're going to get her backstory in book 2.
Yeah.
Now moving on to the mission, like it just happened so quickly. Like 1 minute we're hearing Siggy's background, the next minute we are on mission to kill the murderer. It happened so quickly.
They'd already done the training montage.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
She was technically ready.
To ask more questions.
Yes. Like, okay, so James told her that Xavier was murdered, because otherwise she wouldn't have gone into the cockpit of the spaceship and been like I want to do something about it. So she knew that Xavier didn't just die, that he was murdered. But what I needed her to ask more questions was the part where it was revealed, where James told her that these people managed to get onto the ship and Xavier was the only casualty. How was he the only casualty?
Yeah, that whole
telling you guys
was very confusing.
The last week, something ain't right about James and his story behind this Xavier death thing. Like, there's so many things not adding up.
There are a lot of things not adding up
on this ship. Like, did they know exactly where to find Xavier? Somebody lying.
I'm still thrown off by the murderer being
guarded by like a bunch of people. Like, she murders this like human alien bounty hunter, and when she murders him, 100 people come after her. So
yeah,
why didn't somebody?
I can't think of a visualization for this. Like, I tried to visualize this scene, and like she was in like a garden-esque, like it almost gave me like a botanical garden vibe type thing, where like she was talking to them on her headset, like, okay, this is how we're gonna do this, like, they're planning it out. They point out this guy. She walks up to him, introduces herself, basically gives the line like, that was my husband. And before he get it out, the Scythe, I'm gonna call it the Scythe because it's supposed to be a combination of two things, and beheads him. And I was like, interesting. This scene happens far faster than it's happening in my brain.
I am still thrown off by the fact that her husband was murdered by some random human man that looks like a
You said that's absolutely diabolical.
He's sitting on a park bench. His beard isn't connecting. He has holes in his clothes. He's dirty. And his name is Harvey. I have so many questions. First of all, most of the people on Earth are not supposed to know about all of these other planets and aliens. So why does he know? They say he was a part of the Federation and then he left.
Yes.
Why did he leave? Like, I need to know how this bum.
You are so distraught that Xavier was killed by a human.
Like, I'm just so, like, if I was her and I saw him, I would be like, that would stop me in my tracks. I would have to say, you know what, we're going to do this mission another day because I have some questions.
Like, really here, like, I thought Killmonger was going to be the one who murdered Xavier. But
I'm sorry, when you said his beard didn't connect, that sent me. But
that's how he was described.
I mean, I know that's how he was described, but it's like you're like appalled that this man is like, how dare you look like a bum and be the one to murder her husband?
Well, I just have so many questions because Xavier was highly trained. He was hundreds of years old, and this random human man who obviously has a normal human lifespan, or does he? Another question I have. He's just
like, well, yeah, because remember she asked Siggy about the whole, like, how old are you really? Basically, like, do you not age on the ship? And he ignored it.
And the thing is, Siggy's also a cyborg. So it's like, does everyone not age? Is it only certain species? I say I have more questions going into like finishing book 1 and going into book 2. I have so many questions.
Oh, I have so many questions.
Everything that has occurred. And I just think it is insane that she literally just beheaded that man. No question asked. It's like, You know what? I don't know why a human man is light years away from Earth and is the murder of my husband. We gonna take this head off today.
Listen, I get she's grieving and all, but I need the grief to not also like remove her mental clarity because she's just doing a lot. I don't know if she's still a little high. I don't know what's going on.
No,
I'm
she's just
like,
angry. She
I
went
think she
from,
was
like,
just
she needs
angry.
to calm down.
She was
You
a
know
different
what?
kind of angry than Oshalay's angry.
What is it? The 5 stages of grief. What is it? Am I saying it right?
I don't know
Yeah,
the
it's
order
5.
of it.
I don't know the order though.
Because she
Yeah.
went from like depression straight into rage. Like,
Oh,
no.
it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance.
I don't
Okay.
recall her bargaining, but I do recall the other stages, except for the last step. I feel like she did the other ones.
She
Yeah.
did them out of order.
Yeah.
She did them out of order. And now she's just like out for blood. She's like, oh, you could literally be like, this person over here was a part of it, and she won't ask any questions. She'll go over there and
Well, my only thing was like, I read the scene, and then like I was like, oh dang, she just beheaded him. And then I was like, but wait, why is she taking the head?
I was mad about the fact that she did not bring a sack. I was like, she needs more sacking lessons because you are supposed to bring a bag.
She needed a tote bag, bro.
Well, even in the good old days when they used to behead people in the town square, they used to put their heads in
No,
the bag.
I don't know the good old days of this. Like, oh my God.
I was like, she needs some more assassin lessons because amateur rookie mistake. Like,
well, it's very clear she was an amateur because like everything about it lets you know like she's in it to do it, but like she also has no idea what she's doing. Because remember when she was running, first of all, running with a freshly cut head. So like even if you managed to outrun these guards that popped up almost instantly after you committed a crime in a place where you're not supposed to commit crime, which I guess kudos. They could have just followed the dripping blood because it even said like his head's still dripping. Well, yeah, you just
I think they basically did follow the dripping blood. Like that's why they were so like able to find her so quickly in that what was it, like an underground bar type situation?
The bar where dude had a debt but clearly didn't care too much about that debt because he led her to a locked room.
He basically sent her to a storage room that was locked from the outside. I was like, look, he's not really trying to help you like that.
Right. I was like, I don't care if it was locked from the outside. He clearly trying to set this up because what do you mean it's locked?
Maybe
did you not see the head she was carrying? Why are you so casual about this?
He was very casual for a planet that doesn't have a lot of murders. Maybe he
was like, oh, I guess you want to cash in on those favors. She's got a dead head just chilling. And you're just casually cleaning your glasses, I guess. Like, oh yeah, you can go hang out in the back. Blood's dripping all over your floors, but you chill.
Yeah, I think he was probably drunk. He was day drinking.
I mean, I think everything at that whole scene was I don't know. This is my assumption. The whole scene was supposed to be like a shock.
Yes.
Because remember how we realized in the last chat that like we were reading this book through her eyes and like we experienced everything the way that she experienced it.
Yes.
So I feel like we just had that another instance in that where it's like it was sporadic, it was crazy. It made no sense because she was also like we were experiencing it through her.
Yeah, and she's in a panic, like legitimately.
Yeah, and she's a hot mess.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get caught and be imprisoned in this random ass planet and never see the light.
Like, were you not thinking about that before you beheaded this dude? Like, so many questions.
I think she just thought that she would be able to behead him and get back to the ship, but I don't think she took into account the actual beheading and how it would affect her.
Right.
And then like trying to run through the streets with the head that is not in a sack. Everyone knows you're supposed to bring a block. So, like everyone knows. Maybe her next beheading, she'll be ready.
You were like, I cannot believe she beheaded her. She beheaded somebody without a sack to put the head in. That's where you're still
like they knew this. Like the French Revolution, like check all past beheadings.
Revolution. The fact that you keep coming back to it, like, girl.
let it go. I just see her running through the street. This man's like shocked face frozen on his beheaded. Like, I just can't. Blood dripping everywhere.
Blood dripping everywhere was, and you're like, you should have had a sack. I just want you to understand that even with the sack, there'd be dripping blood because that's a lot of things in the neck. So just so we're clear. Since you're stuck on the sack.
Oh God. I'll move on from the sack. But yeah, so that's kind of where we left off. She did finally escape and managed to, oh my gosh, the crazy part is I think she killed that police officer guy, right? Because he grabbed her ankle as she was trying to escape out of the window.
Wait,
is my
did she kill
understanding.
him?
Well, she said she grabbed her weapon and shoved it in his face. Like the blade, right? Did I read that wrong?
Hold on. Now you got me going back. Let me just open the book again. Did I miss that part? Wait a minute.
And I was just
She
like,
killed
well,
two people.
murder
Girl.
number
She got a
two.
roll.
I was like, murder number two. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Look.
Yes.
What if she had a sack in her pocket the whole time and just forgot to take it out? I feel like
I could totally see that because she's
I was
so
saying, because
frazzled.
we really see her as such an amateur. I could totally see this
I can
being
see her doing that.
She's like, my first I could see her telling the story later. My first beheading was such a mess. Let me tell you what happened.
I could see her getting back on the ship and James and Pia being like, okay, yeah, you did all right, but like, why didn't you put the head away?
I could definitely see Pia asking that because she got her little teenage attitude.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can we also talk about how they had like a display ready?
Yo, that's what. Okay, so before
That's
that scene, I was like, why does she need girl, you cannot go from grieving wife to straight up assassin who collects death in souvenirs.
Yes.
Like in a couple pages. And then it was like, oh yeah, no, they put it in the little cryo tank thing to preserve it because they know a guy who can pull memories from dead bodies as long as the brain's intact. I said, oh, wait, she did this intentionally?
Yeah, I think is an interesting question because that would explain her taking the whole entire head and like running off.
Because she should have threw the head at them and kept running personally.
Right, but she was adamant about keeping it. So that would explain why she like held on to it so much.
Yeah.
Is if they planned that from the beginning, that they were going to go find the guy that can extract memories from dead people via their intact brains. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Also, I found the part. So she didn't shove the part of the weapon with the sword in his face. She slammed the pommel of she pumped like the staff part.
Oh.
She pummeled that into his face.
Okay, that's much better.
I was like, that girl was on a
kill the people that deserve to be killed. I was just like, oh gosh. Okay, that makes sense. Because I feel like if she had murdered one of them, they probably wouldn't have kept chasing her. They probably would have stopped.
No, I feel like if she would have killed the guards, it would have made everything so much worse.
Oh, so much worse.
Yeah. So just pummeling him in the face while disrespectful, I think that was a far better choice.
Well, I did not have a preview to book 2. They don't have it in the ebook.
I have the physical copy, and I, in fact, do have the preview. I didn't read it yet.
Okay.
Let's see. It goes from page 131 to 151. I haven't read it yet because I would like to ask my questions and I would like to make predictions before I read the preview. That way, like, it won't shape how I feel or anything like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
And
I will go first.
We don't know yet when book 2 will be out and if it'll be, I'm guessing this is going to be like a novella series. So
which is very interesting in itself because I don't think I've ever read a novella series before.
I don't know. I feel like they exist, but they're called like short stories,
Oh.
not necessarily novellas. But I've never read one either, so I'm very intrigued. But we don't know yet exactly when it will be out. But I think a lot of our questions are going to get answered in book 2.
So I guess we will go around, give your final thoughts on, I guess this we're gonna call it on book 1 of The Lady Widow, book 1, and then also your questions and or predictions for book 2.
So book 1, I think, was kind of like the setup and exposition background information on what I think will be fully fleshed out in book 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to book 2. I have so many questions. I am very curious about this entire, from everything from the ship to all the different like alien species on the ship to how like this intergalactic network works and how all the different planets, and like I have a lot of curiosity about that, about the world, I guess, that the story is set in. And then of course the typical questions about Xavier's death and how sketchy everything is, and like she was an unreliable narrator for so long that I wonder if the way that she views the characters are really how the characters are. So that's kind of interesting. And I'm curious to know more about James because I don't know. I don't know about him.
You don't trust him?
I don't trust him, and I don't know if it's like I don't trust him because she doesn't trust him yet, or she's just starting to trust him, and we're seeing everything through her eyes, or if he's actually untrustworthy. So we'll see.
Okay. Y'all know I find James a little shady. Not a little shady, a lot shady. Even if he's a good guy and he's not like, a bad person or anything like that, I just feel like he's not giving her enough information, and that makes him shady. So
Okay.
I'm interested in knowing why. Like maybe he doesn't know exactly what happened, which is why he wants to extract this brain. I don't know, but I'm interested to see what that is. I'm still team girl, jump that. I am not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like, jump that. You want her to jump
Y'all
you want her to jump her
time.
husband's best friend?
Y'all scold me every time I curse. So I was trying to be
Well, there's a lot of like sexual tension in between them.
You really think
am I the only person that's reading that?
I do not get that at all.
I don't know. I actually don't have sexual attention.
I don't get that at all. That's her husband's best friend.
No, I definitely don't feel sexual tension at all. I'm just saying, like, add some drama to it. Like
there is an undercurrent there from maybe
not
from her side. Not from her side.
Oh, okay. You're saying from him?
It's one-sided.
You think it's from him?
Yes.
Really?
I don't feel sexual tension. I just want drama.
Right.
I don't know if that's worse.
Messy. Troy's like, I want her to make some poor choices. I'm like, okay.
She ran through a planet with a bloody head. Was that not a bad decision enough?
With no sack.
Think about it.
Just
okay,
no sack
hear
is
me out,
officially like the end credits for this one.
Some wonderful mess if like James was shady and he turns out to be a not so great person. She jumps that, and then how crazy she would go. Oh, she'd be murdering that whole damn ship. It'd be. Oh,
I don't think. To be fair, I do not think James is shady. I do think that he has some things that he has not told her yet. I don't think he has told her everything, but I don't think that he's a bad guy. But I do think that he likes her more than just a friend. Let's put it that way. We shall see, though. I could be completely off base.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just want there to be mess. So there's that.
There's
okay. Any more
Ben
questions or things you'd like to see, Troy? I'm with Ben on this one. Like I wasn't prepared for the James might want Lady Kira. Did he let her suffer? Or did she just not follow his warning?
See, I made the comment that it was like he let her use that little thing a little too long. I said that.
Troy.
I personally feel like he warned her, but sis wasn't listening.
He knew that girl wasn't listening.
But you also kind of right though, because he had every ability to take Glupin away from her
He
and
could have
didn't.
just snatched it. He could have come in her room and just taken it.
Yeah, he
that
could have
would've been
just
bad.
snatched it from her.
Yeah, he could have.
Because he was the only one that was like making sure she had food and stuff. He had every ability to take it from her though.
It was more giving me he knew she was gonna crash out and he was just waiting. Like that's
like,
what it was giving me. It was giving me like, okay, she's in the middle of her grief. I know she's gonna hit rock bottom soon. So I'll be
But,
here
like,
when she does.
what if her rock bottom would have been when she died because she was like ODing on Glupin?
I don't think he would have let it get that.
Okay, well, you know what? You don't think he'll let him get it that far, but he let her go to some alias planet to murder a bounty hunter. I don't know.
Well, keep in mind though, like she got as far as to the point where she ended up in the medical bay, like puking her guts out and needing like to be cleansed because she had used Glupin that much already.
You know, you bring up some good points.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up some good points. He let it get pretty darn far.
Yeah.
But I just thought
if she died, she died. Grief me
But you know
down.
what though? In James' defense, though, if she's supposed to be their like new leader, and I keep on saying he's shady, and I will say he doesn't have to be a bad guy to be shady. Like I think it's shady not telling her like the full story of everything. But like in his defense, I also feel like since she needs to be their captain, homegirl got to grow the fuck up. Oh dang it, I did it again. Dang it. Homegirl has to grow up. She needs to make decisions. She needs to figure herself out, because she can't make like crazy decisions like she keeps on making if she's going to be captain.
Yeah, you're right.
You bring
she has a lot of learning to do, but I feel like that's going to be a part of book 2 is her like coming into her captain role.
Yeah.
And taking more of like an interest in
because we got the training montage and everything in this book, which was supposed to kind of indicate because Ben said on one of the comments somewhere on the line, it's like think of this book as like the first episode.
Yes.
So if I look at this book like the first episode, we actually got a lot for the first episode.
We did. We got very far.
It was like, oh, okay. Looking at it like the first episode kind of changes my views on certain parts of my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see like how things unfold and like the questions that we have, how they get answered.
I also want to know, did I miss this part? Do they have Xavier's body? I know like she technically like was in the beginning was at.
I thought she buried him on Earth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know in the beginning she was at a gravesite and everything, but like it's a sci-fi. Yeah. Are you sure it's his body?
Girl. We do not need to add more sci-fi elements right now. We are still trying to get through this first book. We cannot add in a phantom body to
his death that have not been answered.
Okay, touche.
What about you, Brittany?
You think a phantom body too, though? Dang.
We're not opening another can of worms. Brittany, what
We're not. It's too much.
What are your final thoughts and what are your I guess predictions for book 2?
Before I was told to look at this book like it was the first episode, my original thoughts about the book was that I needed it to be much longer and that I don't want novellas. I want one big book because I want all of it at once so that I can fully digest it. But if I'm looking at it like each novella is an episode, it's actually intriguing in a different way. So
okay,
I want to know how many episodes for this whole series so I know when to expect the climax.
Yeah.
Brittany says my predictions are still as stands. I believe Pia's daddy is her deceased husband. I personally believe James was jealous at some point with Xavier. I do feel he's not. It's like he was his first mate this whole time. He's been doing everything with Xavier, and then Xavier go to Earth, finds his wife, and then they stopped going on all of their adventures and stuff together, or not as frequently because he always has to get back to Earth to be with her. And I think that could build animosity because like whatever they were really doing, because the little Federation thing they were part of sounds really important. and really big deal. So I think that James probably thought offing Xavier was going to give him the ship.
Wow, that is crazy.
I also watch way too much fantasy sci-fi television type things. So could also this be taken from something else in my brain? Definitely. But James gives me the vibe that if he is bad, like that's the kind of motivation he would have.
Yeah.
And if he's not bad, then I'm sorry, James. I had to find somebody to be an evil villain for right now. And
No, just be like, sorry, James. We're reading from Kai's perspective, and she is unreliable.
Yeah, it's been like once she came out of that high, and I realized that everything she had said previously was a lie. I was like, you cannot be trusted as the narrator of this book anymore. I was like, you got me, sis, because I was invested, and now I know you were just 2 seconds from dying.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, also, these are all of our thoughts. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for sending us the book.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being our Black History Month highlight for 2025. And if you guys want to keep reading with us, Oshley has an announcement.
Yes, so we do have a poll up going right now on our Goodreads page for our book picks for we will be doing another read along in March, which Brittany will tell you what book in a second, but we have a poll going up for the book that we want to start reading in April. Brittany, Troy, and I each picked one book, and you guys can go vote on whichever one you think would be the most interesting to read starting in April. So the poll is open as of right now through next week. We might extend it for longer. We just want to give everyone an opportunity to vote, and we will be putting up a poll on Storygraph as well. Just right now it's on Goodreads, but hopefully by the end of tomorrow it will be on Storygraph as well.
Yeah, and that'll be for April's read, because for March because last year we did not, life was lifing us a little too hard last year. So we got to bring Sister Samurai back because we did not get to finish that read along, and we want to give it its dues. So we will be reading Sister Samurai next month. It is by Tatiana Obey. So you got time to get it. It's been out for a while. And come join us. We'll be doing another format just like this one.
Yes.
It's another shorter book too.
On Thursday evenings, we'll be reading, and then after reading, we'll discuss what we've read.
Oh yeah, Oshley, we got to get can we get a link to the poll in the description?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me get that for you now.
Yeah, that's smart. Thank you. We can't tell you which books were our pick because back when Black Prose Club was reading way more than we're trying to get back to that. But back when Black Prose Club first started, we used to do monthly polls for the books that we wanted to read, and Oshley's pick won like 98% of the time.
And we're not going to tell you why.
That with such vitriol.
We're not going to tell you why, because if we tell you why, you'll know which pick is Oshley's.
Right.
No, you won't. No, they won't.
Yes, they will. The reason is so obvious.
It's so
What
obvious.
Is the reason?
I'm not going to say it online for you to keep winning, Oshley.
Right. if me or Troy's book wins, then we'll say it. But we're not. No.
Y'all
you get enough,
hilarious.
bro.
Y'all are so funny.
We used to read so much romance in the beginning because of Oshley.
Wait,
it would be romance.
Romance?
It would be romance or like something clearly out of my comfort zone.
It would be either romance or like chick lit books.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have some votes.
We do. Who's winning? Or what book is winning?
Luster has 2 votes.
Okay.
Infinity Alchemist has 1 vote, and Storm Dawn of a Goddess doesn't have any votes yet.
Okay.
So here's the link. Just scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. That's where the poll is. I don't know why they have it at the bottom of the page. I really don't like that.
That's why we don't like Goodreads anymore, but
and I don't know why this link is not like a real link.
I want to figure out how to do it on Storygraph from our Storygraph too. But I think I'm gonna also put it on our Instagram tomorrow. and we'll just
Yeah.
take like a collective vote from everywhere and
Could you
make the
put it
announcement.
in the stories?
Yeah, I'll put it in the stories because you can actually like do actual voting in the stories.
All right, I'll send you the graphic.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I can't wait to get my book so that I can open it and see my artwork in that book. I'm going to cry, just so we're clear.
Understandable.
Yeah. My mom wants me to take the art that I submitted into that book and put it on a shirt. And she wants it as a tote bag so that she can put the book in the tote bag.
That's cute.
So when people ask about the tote bag, she can pull out the book.
That is actually really sweet.
That's
I'm like, Mom, I appreciate your extraness.
That is so funny. Your mom is hysterical.
Right.
We love a supportive mother.
We do.
Brittany, I sent you the graphic that I have.
Huh?
I sent you the graphic that I have.
Oh, why thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I'll post that. But yeah, guys, I think that's it for today. I think the first thing we should probably remind everybody is protect your peace.
Oh, yes.
Take deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
Black History Month might be over, but we are still blackity black all the time.
That's right.
And I hope everybody has a really good day. Thank y'all for joining us, and we'll see you at the next read.
See you soon. We will release the schedule for March for the read along on our Instagram. So stay tuned for the schedule. It will more than likely be Thursday nights again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Also, I'll post my opinions about the preview on our Instagram stories.
Ooh, nice.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.